Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to another Final Save cast on a Tuesday, which is a bit weird, for the week of May 19th, 2015. Um, let's see. And you're tweeting it, and I forgot to do that, so I'll just retweet. So professional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what happened is I was sick last Sunday, and so it got moved into the week, which is actually better for Joe because Joe's more easily accessible during the week. So
Yeah.
Janet might pop in later, but we'll see.
Indeed.
All right.
All right.
And there we go. Retweet.
Yay.
Boom. All right. Yes, I can see myself, and I can switch it to the right monitor. All right. So today we're going to talk about what we've been playing and bitching about a couple things as per usual. And I don't know if Joe's got anything that's on his mind that he's going to be talking about or whatnot. Probably plug his new show.
Yeah, I will at the end.
Yeah. All right. So first, I guess what we've been playing, I honestly wish I had something new to say, but GTA 5. I've gotten a little bit more into the dailies on the multiplayer, like to get money. Started playing heists. The heists are a little bit long and don't give you as much money, but they're still fun. I find it humorous that on the heists, the voice actor that's talking to you on the radio, I think is like the same voice actor in Payday 2.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But they have DLC coming. It's supposed to be more heists. I don't know how I feel about that because it's like I don't really care enough about it to pay for more heists. Yeah. So we'll have to see how much it is. If it's like $5, it's fine. But yeah, as far as like that goes, I'm really not too concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways,
playing anything else?
The only other things I've been playing Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare a little bit.
Ah, yes.
We played the Horde mode on that like last week.
Really?
Yeah, we actually beat it. It was actually kind of interesting for a shot.
I did not play that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just I don't know if you'd like it. It's it's basically Horde mode with some tower defense stuff. So it's probably why you might not like it.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, we can try it sometime. Do it on a stream or something like that. I played Broforce again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Still loving Broforce. I did a stream this morning though with those 2 early access games I have. Broforce is fine. I still need to play more of it to get to the more deeper content and whatnot, and especially the newer stuff. Road Redemption I actually played and beat.
Wow.
So I did that last weekend. The end of that game's interesting because the last track is basically a Rainbow Road from Mario Kart.
Funny.
The game has charm, but my problem with it is I don't feel like for what I paid for it, the promise of what they said they were going to have is there.
So wait, are they done with it then?
No, they're not. If it was me working on it, it's not near done. It looks like it needs another year in the oven almost.
But they've said they're done, or what?
No, it's still early access.
Okay.
So some of the things that they added, you can select a bike now at the beginning. You can pick from different characters. There's a couple special characters. There's one rider that's got like a pumpkin that's on fire. Shovel Knight's in the game.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. But other than that, like the weird thing is like you watch their like preview video and they show like the crotch rocket and you hear it go wee, wee, wee. The whole time you're playing a game, even if you're on a crotch rocket, it sounds like a Harley Davidson. It's like the same fucking bike noise.
Oh.
I don't think the music is all that great. It definitely sounds like Sega Genesis era music with like the kind of beats and tones and stuff that it has. There's some music that's pretty cool. It's kind of like retro-y, like it sounds like it's being chip tuned or whatever.
Right.
My problem with it is for a game like that and coming off of like the recent Road Rashes, or not recent, but the most recent ones, which would have been like PS2 and stuff. I would like to actually have real band music playing while that game was going on. And even if it's not like Soundgarden stuff, they could have probably easily gotten something like
some like indie bands
or something to cover the music on it. The other thing too is they promised it was going to be procedurally generated, which it is. The tracks are procedurally generated, but it's always like the desert track, the snow track, the mountainous track, whatever. And there's not very much detail or character in it. And I like tracks that have detail and character, which Sega does a brilliant job of
Mm-hmm.
doing with all their racing games. Always have.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Sonic All Stars, for example. There's oodles of character in every one of those tracks.
Right. I mean, that's
Granted,
kind of the problem with procedural stuff. It does seem to kind of have less character.
yeah, but with the idea of the whole thing, you're going across the country. I was kind of hoping it'd be a little bit like Cruising USA. Like the tracks could still be procedural, but have like one part in the middle where it's like static or something, which is always going to be that way.
Yeah, good point.
And like you're driving like past like Mount Rushmore or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
something dumb. Um, Other opportunities missed that would have made it feel like an '80s arcade racer is like having a flag girl in a bikini or something
Of
like that.
course.
They should have really looked at everything. And the thing that's really bizarre to me is one of the guys on the team is somebody that actually did work on the Road Rash games,
Mm-hmm.
and when it does what it does well, it does feel like a Road Rash game.
Right.
But certain things still don't ring with me, like shooting in the game. I don't
Mhm.
like having the guns in the game. Some are pretty cool, like when you get a grenade launcher. It's like the Terminator 2 grenade launcher goes thunk, blows up. That's fun, but I would still prefer some type of auto aim. So the way they handle it is on the second stick, like the little reticles, like got a really large area that you can hit in, which is fine. And then now if you click down, it auto centers the thing, but it's still really hard to go around a sharp turn, hit the brake, what you got to do to go around a sharp turn and aim and hit somebody.
Mhm.
There's a reason like why in racing games you don't ever see anybody like pan the camera this way, why they're doing 100 miles or this way.
Right. Oh yeah. It's. I
Yeah.
don't know how to say it. It's
So
really weird.
I'm still not a big fan of that. Like the roof levels are a cool idea, but it feels like something that belongs more like in a Motor Storm game and not like in a Road Rash type game. Um, so I've got a lot of criticism for it. It's hopefully got a lot more time in the oven, but right now I'm mostly kind of disappointed in what I have.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Apparently the cat was in here.
Well, goodbye, kitty. Cow kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, other than that, that's all I've been playing. I don't think I've played anything else.
Well,
Yeah.
you named more than I have. There's really only been 3 things I've been playing, and those are, well, one of them you can easily guess is City Skylines. I've been playing that like nonstop lately. It is honestly the game I've been waiting for ever since SimCity 4 because there's so much customization, especially with the modding of what you can do. I mean, just even the base game just seems to give you a lot that you can do with like you can actually like create your own maps and everything in game and everything. You don't have to try and do like crazy stuff outside of it or crazy modding. It's already built in there, so you have a terrain editor. Now it just the flow and everything of it. They did a good job, and some of the stuff is really crazy. And I like the transportation setup and everything. How they have that, you can play with just that for like hours on end, just creating roads and stuff. But
Do you have a screenshot of the road that you just created?
yes, I do. I'll take a look and try to find that here. But some of the other games I have been playing, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which is really really good. I'm very happy with that. Let's see what the hell would that be? Anyways, there was that, and then I pretty much just play that when I'm like rendering stuff or whatever when I can't use my computer. So that's its main function. And then I've been playing KOTOR 2 because I've never actually finished it, and I had it on original Xbox, and I got KOTOR 2 a couple years back from Rick. He gave it to me as a gift on PC, and
I've heard tons of people say that they've never finished KOTOR 2. They just like fizzle out on it.
Yeah, well, part of the problem was it was really glitchy, and on Xbox, there wasn't really like as much of patching and stuff back then. So I'm trying to merchant activity. There we go. This will be easier. But anyways, so that, and so I went ahead and I modded the crap out of it, and I have finally found the screenshot. Let's see if I can get it up here.
Yeah, just go screen share on the side.
Yeah.
It's like, I know this. Shut up.
Screen
You
one.
notice how my face looks like every 8 and 16-bit character in a cutscene? They always had that blue on the side.
Yeah, there. Go. Over. That crazy ass interchange that I worked on. Is it screen sharing?
I haven't seen anything.
Share. There we go.
Okay. Now I see it.
Yeah.
Let me click
So,
on
yeah, so I have
No.
like it just goes
that. Should have.
each part of the road and everything. Like you can get to each part of the highway just from the side of the road without an actual crossover. It's kind of crazy.
Oh man, if I was driving in your city, I'd have to smack you. What the hell? Look at that like sharp turn on like the bottom right corner there. Like that
Yeah.
exit is just like
Well, actually, that's an on ramp, so you just be
Yeah.
getting on that right there. So
Well,
it wouldn't be
that's
that
like-
bad.
that's a 10-mile-an-hour turn on that one elbow there. It's like, don't go any faster, you'll go off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Not a city planner.
No, I did not plan that part ahead of time. If I did, it would look quite a bit nicer. But it's like, let's see what I can get away with, and that's part of the fun of the game.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
There's that. Yeah, and KOTOR 2 just been modding. Basically, I modded the crap out of it, so I got like all nice like high res textures. There's one mod I found. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but what the coolest thing it does is it fixes just a lot of like random little problems and makes sure like all the patches. It kind of patches the game over again and fixes a lot of little things. But also one of the cool things it does is there's like a handful of cutscenes that it got rid of the video and actually renders it all in game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it helps clean that up, as you know, first world gaming problem of the actual game looks better than the cutscene.
Yeah.
So
It's like when I was playing Jedi Knight 2 or Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. Like the game would play in 1920 by 1080. And then when it would go to cutscene, like put it like on a little window like this.
Yeah.
It's like a postage stamp. It's like,
Yeah.
what am I watching it on?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It has some of those. Like sometimes when it cuts the video, you can tell like it like readjusts like the resolution so that it'll like kind of full screen the video, but it's still low res. Where the hell are you going?
I don't know. I heard a loud bang, so I was gonna go check it out.
Okay. But
I don't know if I had to go kill somebody or what was going on. It's like, I'm a weird person. It's like, did you break in my house? Opportunity to murder.
Exactly. I forget it was somebody. It was either, I want to say it was either Don it was our friend Rick's dad. I remember like talking to him one time, and like he thought he heard like a noise, and like he just goes first thing for a shotgun, and it's like, you are totally just been looking for the opportunity to shoot somebody, aren't you?
Yeah, shooting's not as fun as having somebody's head in your hand and just bashing it into the wall.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, I'm not like Trevor at all. Sorry.
But those are really the only 3 games I've really been playing lately.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like when we did this as like a monthly podcast, how long it would take just to get through what we were playing. Because when you're actually talking about it, even just like talking about a couple games can take like 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
This is with 2 people, so much nicer. That takes a lot less time now. All right, so I don't know if you have any topics you want to talk about.
Nothing off the top of my head right now.
Okay, so a lot of this is, as you know, we kind of talk about the gaming news, but we also look at it as like a topic format to talk about. So how much time we spend on that just depends on how much the other party's interested in it.
Right.
So anyways, the Shield Razer. Okay, sorry, I said that wrong. The NVIDIA Razer. Yeah. Wow, did I screw that up?
Yeah, you keep messing that up.
It's because of the way I have it written.
Shield.
The NVIDIA Shield and a Razer Forge.
There you go.
The micro consoles. Okay, there we go. So I was kind of surprised to learn that the Razer Forge is out now. Interesting enough, it does not have Netflix
I
as a
know, that's so
support
weird.
on it.
I did
Yeah.
play it. I did play on it at what is it? Oh, GDC, and I was surprised what they could pull off on it. It looked pretty good, but I mean, and the controller was nice. I mean, that's really all I can say about it from just playing like one game on it.
Like the controller is cool. I wish you could use it on a PC.
Yeah.
Would be my thing. If you're gonna, and it's stupid overpriced. Like right now, if you get it at Amazon, you get it. You can get it as a bundle,
Mhm.
and it comes with a controller and the system for $150.
Right.
If you get the controller by itself, it's $80. It's like fuck that.
Yeah, seriously.
Like Razer, go
I feel like
get fucked.
controllers right now are just way. I don't know why they're so damn expensive. Like, even like, I mean, a PS4 does have a lot of technology in it, but still, I'm like, I don't feel like paying $60 for a fucking controller.
Especially that it's a Bluetooth controller.
Right.
There's nothing in it.
Right.
And it uses, and you have to use, and here's the kicker: $80, you have to use AA batteries.
Aw, boo! That's even worse.
What the hell? But hey, the USB cable, it's braided.
Ooh. Super.
From my understanding, actually talking to some people, braiding's actually cheaper than the rubber coating.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, that came out, and then now on top of that, it's out now. It doesn't have Netflix.
Which, honestly, that is like my one requirement of any of those systems, because I'm gonna have it hooked up to my TV, and I'm not gonna play games on it all the time. It is a great streaming device, so I can get rid of anything that's bigger sitting around my TV. It doesn't even freaking have that.
Yeah. So, anyways, it doesn't have Netflix. Now, here's the other kicker about it. It came out, and it has a software it's supposed to use for PC called Razer Cortex.
Mhm.
The cool thing about Razer Cortex, it doesn't matter if you have an NVIDIA GPU or a AMD one. It's supposed to do it over CPU, from my understanding.
Mhm.
And it's some kind of new codec that Razer's claiming they developed that is capable of delivering up to 120 frames a second to the device.
Wow.
Which sounds pretty awesome.
Right.
But at the same time, how much CPU horsepower is it going to take for this thing to do it? Like, what kind of CPU are you going to need? Like an i7?
Right.
Or like what? So they've been very coy on that. And then the software itself is about $30. They haven't really said like how much it's going to be, but I'm guessing it's around $20, $30. So you take the price of the controller, the console, and that, you're almost at shield area. Granted, this console's smaller than a Shield, or at least it looks like it from what I've seen.
I think it is, yeah.
But it's an Adreno 420 with a quad core.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't match up to the Shield. So, and then the Shield was supposed to come out on the 5th. It got pushed back. Now, what I heard about the Netflix thing is there's some kind of legal issue with Android TV's operating system going on with Netflix for some reason.
Huh.
So I'm wondering if either A, the Netflix thing is why the Shield console's been pushed back a bit, and B, if they just don't have any games ready. Because I've noticed like it's on their like actual NVIDIA store for their Shield consoles. It's not showing up anything new, like stuff they were promising, like Borderlands 2.
So that's what's missing off my phone.
Huh.
It's Netflix.
Oh.
Because there was like a spot on my, like dashboard thing or whatever in the desktop where I don't know what the hell to call it on Android, but you know what I mean. There was a spot missing. I'm like, there was an icon there. What the hell was it? And I don't watch Netflix on my phone that often. I'm normally not in the need, but I was like, what the hell is missing? I couldn't figure it out, and now I know.
Gotcha. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I think it probably, because I'm an NVIDIA user, it's probably more advantageous for me to use the Shield console.
Yeah, probably.
Set-top box or smart TV box for my TV, which I'm planning on. I was actually really looking forward to the Forge, and maybe they'll come out with the Cortex software in the next few days, but if they're not, I'm not going to sit here and wait around for it. So anyways, it sounds like maybe the Shield console will be coming out later of this month or next month, and I guess last night it accidentally got leaked on Amazon that there's both a regular Shield console, which is the 16 gigabyte model,
Right.
$200 with a controller, and then there's a Pro one with a 500
500. Yeah.
yeah 500 gig hard drive, which I'm guessing to fit it in that form factor is probably like a 1.8-inch hard drive,
Yeah.
like an
Probably.
iPod or something like that.
Mhm.
They didn't, and I'm pretty sure like if you didn't get the 500 gig model, you'd have to like upgrade it through USB or micro SD or something like that. Because
Probably.
I didn't see any way on that console that you could just throw in a hard drive into it.
Right.
If that's the case, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
And probably it'll come with like a couple extra controllers and stuff. I probably won't get that because like the games I'm looking at are mostly like Android style games like GTA, Chinatown
Wars. Right.
and stuff, and it's not going to take up a whole lot of memory. And I'll probably play it and then just wipe it off and get the next one, like another one for like the month or something like that.
Right.
By no means this is going to be my main thing to play games on it.
Right. No, for sure. No.
It's going to be a Netflix viewer or to stream my PC games too.
Right.
To TV. So, either or, depending on funds or whatnot. I got a couple things that still have to sell on eBay.
Mhm.
But when they do, sure shit, we will have a review of the Shield console when that happens. Whenever either it comes out or we get the funds. So, whoa, that was really forced. So, anyways, let's see what else we got here.
Well, I mean, since we were talking about NVIDIA, what about the whole GameWorks thing?
Oh, well, we'll say that for the end.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, Konami. Let's bitch about Konami.
Okay, let's bitch about this.
Yeah. So Konami this week has said that they're going to now focus on mobile gaming. Let me read this exactly word for word. Gaming has spread to number of platforms, but at the end of the day, the platform is always closest to us is mobile. Mobile is where the future of gaming lies. Strong words.
I want everyone to see my face right now.
Yeah. We hope that our overseas games, like they're distancing themselves from it. We hope that our overseas games, such as MGS5 and Winning 11, continue to do well. Bullshit.
Yeah.
But we're always thinking about how to push our franchises onto mobile. So, I guess this is good now that I'm gonna get a Shield. So
Maybe we'll play Castlevania.
Yeah, the ones that probably already came out on Game Boy.
Right.
So yeah, basically what they're telling me is Konami's dead.
That's kind of what it's like. Every game company I've ever known, like Majesco is another example of like a company that's like, we're just gonna go to mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell are they? Like, they probably do make stuff. I just don't know of anything they make. Like, no one ever gets like critically acclaimed games like going to mobile. Like, it just doesn't happen. You kind of fall off the face of the earth. You might be making money, but that's all I can say about that.
I'm not gonna say every game on mobile shit. It's
No,
not.
it's
Obviously, if there were a bunch of shitty games on there, if it's nothing but shit, I wouldn't be getting something to play mobile games on.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like I don't like the experience. I'd rather have it on a TV or a screen. I'd rather have a controller. It's good that there's options for that now.
Right.
For people like me to experience all that stuff. But I'm sorry, from my point of view, like 85% of it is just shovelware.
Yeah, it mostly is. Or it's not even necessarily shovel. Like, how can I put it? Like, there are games that are good for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. After that, you hate the game and you put it down and you won't play it again until at least tomorrow. Maybe if you get bored a few hours later. Yeah,
I mean, there's probably a lot of people on a bus, and it's better than sitting there staring at somebody's weave or something like that.
Right, exactly.
For my day-to-day use, I'm not on a bus every day.
Yeah, same here.
It's not a platform I want to be on. And what it reminds me exactly of, and I haven't seen this for a long time, is it's weird because like mobile gaming is almost its own segregated thing that has nothing to do with gaming on other platforms. where
Kind of, yeah.
to some extent, like PS4, Xbox, and PC, they're all in an ecosystem they share together in some weird way and are competing with each other.
Right.
But there's no direct tie between mobile and those other platforms, which is kind of weird to me. And this reminds me almost exactly what happened to the Atari back in the 80s. There was a lot of junk that came out for really, really cheap that wasn't very much fun. And people bought it and they got disillusioned and just stopped playing on those platforms.
Right.
And a lot of it had to do with education. There wasn't a lot of people that understood that a game that you get at the counter at the grocery store for $5 is not going to be good as like one by Atari that's going to cost 30 or 40. You know, they didn't understand, like, there wasn't a term like shovelware then, where there is now. So hopefully that helps prevent that from happening to the mobile platform.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who feel like it's almost like they're gaming on it as like a fad instead of like an actual need or a form of entertainment. Like Candy Crush, I don't understand why the game's so popular.
I don't know.
It's not very fun to me.
Right. I mean, I just don't really like those type of games. I can see some of them. I don't know Candy Crush particularly, but there are the few out there that are kind of similar, like Bejeweled and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're good games for what they are.
Yeah.
So I understand the entertainment value of it. To me, I don't like it. I don't find the entertainment in it, but I can see some of the entertainment value in it.
There are games on the platform that do work for it and its advantage. I think it's to name a few, like Pixel Dungeon.
Yeah.
Very, very good game, roguelike. It's a lot of fun. Uses the touch controls very well. Pinball Arcade and Pinball FX are great examples of games that are perfect for that platform. A lot of things arcadey.
Right.
But then you got stuff that, like, honestly, it's probably the best version of, like, Sonic 2 that there's ever been.
Yes.
But then it's on a touch screen and it doesn't work very well for that.
Right. Well, for you, I have a controller version, so.
Yeah, well, I will too, and it will be on a TV. So.
Yeah, you'll win eventually.
So I don't really understand. I know there's a lot of money there. I just don't understand that culture or that gaming culture. It's almost like it's a completely different subset of gaming that I don't get.
To me, those games are just quick, easy pick up and play games. They're not really an experience at all, and I hate to kind of throw that term around because it's such a Xbox term, but like it really is. There is no real experience to it there. It's just a time killer while you're going off to do something else.
Is that an Xbox term? Okay.
They use experience constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, for TV.
Yeah, TV. Experience. Call of Duty.
Ironically, if you go back and look at how they cut the Shield, the Shield thing, they were like TV. All right, and going into that, for the mass amounts of developers getting laid off and scattering across the world from Konami, they're starting to decide to go do their things. Like Iga, as Koji Igarashi, the maker of probably one of the best video games of all time, in my opinion, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, has said that he wants to make another Gothic, like what he calls Igavania, because actually Metroid wasn't popular in Japan.
Right.
So that's why they use that term. Style game. So here, let me see if I can screen share this here. There we go. Okay. So this came out a few days ago, and
shit, man.
What? The money?
Yeah, 2.4 now. God.
Exactly. So this is the beautiful thing. He's gone to many developers, including like Capcom, other people in Japan, and they've said no, that style game is not popular anymore. Nobody wants to play it.
Right.
So he's found some independent backers that want to back his game, but once again, they're not sure about the validity of the game. So they set a goal set on Kickstarter to basically prove it. It was merely a $500,000 Kickstarter, made it to its goal within the first 6 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I knew it was like really early.
Yeah. So now it's already up to 2.5 million almost. And this isn't the actual game. This is just sort of like pre-rendered art, I guess.
Right. Yeah. That's what it
But
looks like.
I'm stupid excited because the reason I play these games wasn't necessarily for the lore of Castlevania. Like the story, in my opinion, was like good for like an anime type story. But it
Hey,
was
don't be knocking anime.
yeah, it was really about the experience of playing those games. They were really fun experiences, and I still think if you haven't played Castlevania to this day, you must. Like Symphony of the Night is still one of the best games ever made, and still holds up really well.
Mhm.
So they have all kinds of like weird backer stuff to like the point where Iga will actually make a personalized ring, like he actually carves it and stuff himself for you to like your specifications. Um, and I actually haven't been here in a while. Let's see if anybody took the $10,000 one. Nope, no $10,000 backers. There's still 5 of those left, people. But I mean, they got a shit ton of like extended goals here. We're talking about from the game funded to the art book being a hardcover to a second playable character, nightmare difficulty, voice acting by David Hayter. You know, Metal Gear. Hey,
Right. I still find it funny that, like, I guess you had to talk to him beforehand on that one. That'd be funny
Yeah.
if you
yeah.
didn't.
He's just like, what the fuck? Or wait a minute, he's more like, what the fuck? A high D. No. Cheat codes, local co-op, new boss, speedrun mode, boss rush mode, retro level, which I'm so glad they got funded. And now they're looking at classic music, which I'm guessing is going to be like 8-bitty music, and it looks like that's going to hit. This thing has just blown the fuck up, and I'm so happy because this shows you how many people actually do want a game like this.
Right.
And oh man, I'm just thrilled to death about this. It's awesome.
No, it looks really good.
Yeah. So, anyways, with more and more people on Kickstarter like that, I guess that's how we're going to see the kind of games that we might actually like to play, as far as like indie developed games. Or
Right.
smaller
Well, there was also the other one that came out that like blew up right away was Yooka-Laylee.
Yooka-Laylee, which is the spiritual successor to
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah.
Yep, which another one of people thought, like that genre was dead, like the 3D platforming game. Like it doesn't seem like there's that many out right now. And also, I mean, Microsoft basically made Nuts and Bolts, which had nothing to do with the original Banjo-Kazooie because they didn't think it would do well. Also, I heard they kind of messed it up, and that's why they went with that. But it's good to see that. I mean, it's a lot of the people from Rare who worked on it too. So
yeah, and that's also, and that seems to be also a trend with these games. Is it's like most of the best people worked on Symphony of the Night, like the musicians and stuff, are also working on Bloodstained. So it's like we're starting to see a trend here where they're like, okay, now you don't want to give us the opportunity, publisher, to make these anymore. We're gonna go off and we're gonna call it Bloodstained, but it's gonna be Castlevania. You know what?
But yeah, basically. Right.
Yeah. But I'm fine with that. If it gets the game out there, it's like I know he's an accomplished developer. He's made good games every time he's touched it, as far as like the 2D stuff goes. The 3D stuff not so much.
Yeah. But it's not 3D, so.
Yeah, it's not 3. Well, it's 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. That whatever. It's 2D.
Yeah.
Fundamentally.
He said he wanted to make it that way so that the cutscenes are more dramatic, but I'm not playing it for the cutscenes. So hopefully it's not like all of a sudden David Hayter comes out and the thing's like 14 minutes long.
I would not have a problem with that at all. David Hayter can never get enough. Yeah.
All right. One more thing about Konami before we go on to the AMD thing. Konami delists PS4 consoles. Well, actually, eBay does, but it's at Konami's request.
Right.
PS4 consoles with PT preloaded.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't aware, like a couple weeks ago when PT was getting taken down from the PSN after the whole debacle with Konami saying they canceled Silent Hills or whatever it was going to be called.
Silent Hills.
Yeah, they had the PT demo, which was supposed to show off what it was supposed to be like. And it was exclusive to PS4. And all of a sudden they said, okay, that's it. If you don't have it on your system, it's getting delisted and you'll never be able to download it again.
Right.
Which I hate whenever they do that. Like, my feeling is anytime you list something on an online service, it should be archived for all time. Period.
I actually do have a little bit of a different thing. I am okay with them delisting it off of PSN one because it was a demo and it was free. If that's what they want to do, you didn't pay for it. They had every right to do that if they wanted to.
I
Now
guess that's fine. Yeah.
the next part is a little bit different though.
Yeah. So people were like, okay, we have all these PS4 consoles with PT on it, and then they put them on eBay for like $1,000.
Right.
And then Konami basically talked to eBay and had them all delisted from eBay. So you can't sell a PS4 with it. Now eBay says it was because you can't sell software. But that's bullshit. People do it all the time. People sell cell phones.
Yeah.
They sell other devices with preloaded stuff.
Right.
And nobody's ever said anything about it before. Also, when you sell a disc, it's still software.
Mm-hmm.
So just because the law is a little bit twisted for downloadable stuff, that in this country right now, the way the law is, you don't really own it. It's more like you're renting it.
Right.
Which I don't necessarily agree with that and don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they have a right to tell people that they can't sell the physical.
I mean,
what can and cannot be on the hard drive.
Right. I don't know. I mean, because I've dealt with a lot of this stuff with like dealing with like Autodesk and Adobe. If somewhere in the user agreement of PT is technically when you downloaded it, or if there, I don't know if there was an agreement thing. If there was no agreement thing, then this is out the window. But in a lot of cases, it belongs to you and you alone. If it's still on the hardware, onto like a new computer or whatever, if it's still on there,
just showing
it doesn't. I don't know. Well, yeah. It doesn't actually. The software belongs to you and does not belong to the other person. So that license is yours, and you can't trade it off that way. So that might be where they get around that, but it was free software, and I doubt there was any user agreement to it. If there was, then oh well. But in that case, though, I don't see why that would be such a big deal. Honestly. I mean, it really sound from the whole thing. Honestly, I think if they decided to take it off and delist it, and the whole thing in the background didn't happen, they wouldn't be so butthurt about this. But since the whole thing with Kojima and everything that went down, they're just being pissy little kids about it. So,
yeah, I mean, no big whoop. They're a company to care about their bottom line. But this seems like it's almost like a revenge tactic in a weird way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, it's not like it. It was a free demo, so it wasn't like there was any money changing or anything. Anyway, so I don't understand.
Like, from my point of view, you shouldn't sell a console with your information on it, anyways.
You shouldn't.
It to factory, but at the same time, there's nothing that nobody should tell you what you should or shouldn't have information-wise to a piece of hardware, which you can legally sell in this country to somebody.
Right.
There's nothing telling you can't sell legally to sell a piece of hardware. So just the software on it shouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's where I get into it, and I'm like, I'm really pissed about this whole thing. I just, you're making up the rules at this point, basically, just to make Konami happy or whatever. Which I don't understand. Like, what's in it for eBay to make Konami happy by delisting them too? Like, it's not like eBay has to deal with Konami all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's next? They're gonna tell everybody it has NES cartridges of Castlevania. They have to delist it,
right?
Because they're releasing it for cell phone. So that's where I have a big, huge issue with it, and I don't think a whole lot of people are gonna disagree with me on that.
No.
But where there is some disagreement, surprisingly, is AMD is currently slamming NVIDIA GameWorks again.
Mm-hmm.
This is where
more butthurt.
Yeah, more butthurt again is right. So, now here's the problem. Anybody that says that we're NVIDIA fanboys here when we make this argument is wrong. If you looked at the last two builds, they were AMD video cards in those things. Mm-hmm. So piss off. Right.
And my other computer has an AMD card in it.
Yeah, which was mine.
Which was yours. Yeah, so.
Yeah. So it's not like at the end of the day, what I care about is price performance and how well it works. AMD has some awesome, awesome technology
They do.
like Mantle
Hmm.
and TressFX,
Right.
and whatever else they're probably working on sooner or later. MLAA is a great alternative to FXAA, and I think in some ways MLAA actually looks better than FXAA.
Probably.
But at the end of the day, them as a company, and Richard Huddy has been doing this lately, where when a game comes out, and because it has something from NVIDIA GamesWorks in it, which is like this time it's Hair Effects, and I think Grass Effects maybe was the other one.
There's actually a lot of GameWorks stuff in it. I looked it up earlier. There's a lot.
Okay, so it's in there, right?
Yeah.
But the one they've decided to harp on is the Hair Effects.
Right.
Okay. So when you turn Hair Effects on, you drop about 20 frames. Now on a 290X switcher runs on ultra settings at about 45 frames, which a game that's really pushing graphics should
Right.
on a hardware like that. So their problem is when you turn on the Hair Effects, it's not working the way that people feel it should on the AMD cards, but it's also an NVIDIA only technology.
Right.
Now that sucks. That's a fact that it's going to work better on NVIDIA cards, but at the same time, AMD's done the same thing. They've had TressFX and whatnot, and still to this day, I can't turn on my card TressFX without dropping my frame rate dramatically.
Right.
Because it works better on an AMD card.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even on a 980, you take a little bit of a hit. So
now their argument is in the past what they would do is they would develop new technology, release it as source code out to the community and whatnot. And mainly what it was for is for developers to grab. But then the problem that the developers were coming back with is they were saying, look, it takes a lot of development time to take the source code, compile it, and then find a way to put it into the engine. So at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. We're going to use what's going to give us the least amount of time to implement, and it's always what's ever been available in the engine.
Yeah, because in the development, if you're going to be adding on anything, especially that's going to be only working on one platform and you're working multiple platforms, you don't want to spend an extra few months of time possibly working on just one little add-on for one system. So it's not worth the time to be messing around with that as much.
Yeah, so Joe has a little bit more experience being a 3D artist with this than I would. So he's worked in a development cycle before or whatnot. So maybe you want to explain to people why they're using DLLs as opposed to letting the source code out there and just...
Right. So especially on the last project I worked on with the Prio VR or whatever. So there's the option for the source code, but to make it just work, we have a DLL that you could just drop into like the Unity engine or something where it just works like that. That way, for the developer, for a DLL or whatever, you don't have to spend months possibly of time. Even like weeks, or if it's simple enough. But I mean, instead, this takes maybe a couple hours if it's just not working right. It's just a simple fix of some sort with a DLL. It just makes things so much easier to work with, and for a developer, time is money, and that's the most important thing when it comes down to it. So,
okay. So having said that, now here's where the shitty part of it that nobody likes. Is NVIDIA playing fair? No. At the same time, they don't have to.
Right.
What the problem was before is they were putting out source code. Nobody was taking the time to compile it or reuse it, or very few were, because it would take so much development time. You have to pay so many people to work on it or whatnot. And it costs millions and millions of dollars to come up with these effects, like Hairworks, Flameworks, all this stuff, okay? So now they're putting it in DLLs where, like Joe said, you can just take it, drop it into an engine, and it works. Now, there is an advantage of them not putting the source code out there, because then, once again, it is something that it highlights NVIDIA cards and not AMD. The idea that everything should be open to everybody, they are a corporation. They are out there to make money. They are spending their own millions to develop this, and they've even said themselves like stuff like GeForce Experience, these GameWorks stuff. This is why there's somewhat of a premium on NVIDIA cards, because a lot of that premium goes towards R&D for this stuff.
Yeah, for their software, right.
Yeah, the voxel lighting, all that stuff. at the same time, they've also said these are pretty much plugins. These can be turned on and off in the engine at any point,
Hmm.
and nobody's going to go develop a game that's not going to flat out just not work on an AMD card. That's
Right.
stupid.
Yeah. It would, right.
Like you're not going to go sell something and then say it just doesn't run on this type of card. That's what AMD is making it sound like, which pisses me off.
Hmm.
There's nothing that says that you can't turn Hairworks off and get your 45 frames.
Right. I mean, it's the same with as I was with. I mean, physics is part of their game works, and that's just the way it has been now for the last what, like pushing 10 years now. You just
Yeah.
turn physics off.
It's a corporation. They're out to make money.
Right.
Where I have a problem with AMD is they're kicking and screaming the whole time, but also doing similar things
Right.
with
Like Mantle and
Mantle or
MLAA.
SFX.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, they are releasing it as a source code, but at the same time, where there's a problem, there's no DLL for
Right.
a lot of stuff. They're just releasing it as a source code. So now studios have to take extra time to compile it, make their own DLL or whatnot to put into the game. And yes, to be fair, there is a better chance for NVIDIA to take that and make it better for in their driver support or whatever.
Mhm.
But at the same time, there's nobody telling AMD they have to release it as a source code to the public.
Right.
Like what AMD should be doing is spending time to put it into a DLL compiler the same way to make it easier for developers to use it in their engine. And if they wanted to make their own thing and wall it off, as long as it didn't affect at the end of the day where you could not play the game on an NVIDIA card, I'm fine with that.
Right.
I'm okay. That's competition. That's how it works.
Hmm.
That's,
Right. I mean, it'd be like, in a way, it's kind of similar to being like, well, like Xbox people being like, oh man, why isn't Uncharted on Xbox One? That's BS. It should be on both systems.
yeah. I mean, like I told Joe earlier today, it was like that's like saying because the PS4 has more stream processors than the Xbox One that Microsoft should go and complain and say, you're using all your stream processors. You should cut it off down to 768 just like us. So
Right.
there's like parity between. No, they're a corporation. They're in
Right.
competition. The systems were made with different ideas in mind. Microsoft made their bed. They thought TV was going to be a thing. It wasn't.
Hmm.
PlayStation finally got a hint and said, hey, it's a game console. Maybe it should be about gaming.
Right.
And that's what everybody fucking wanted. It's at the end of the day, to get upset about this is really stupid. And the fact that AMD and people like Richard Huddy are out there, which I really like Richard. He's a good guy.
Mhm.
But this is the wrong way to message. This is what all this does is this flames the wars and adds a lot of elitism.
Right.
And this is why people sometimes cringe when they say, what kind of graphics card do you have? I have an AMD. I have an NVIDIA. And then there's a fucking fight about it for an hour and a half, which is really, quite frankly, pretty goddamn pointless.
Right. It is.
Like, it's one thing when it's people out there that are fans of their products kind of adding to this, but when it's on a corporation level, it's not only wrong, it's
Mhm.
fucking unprofessional.
Right. I mean,
And
it's
it
one of those
really-
things too. It's like, well, so you're bitching that your stuff doesn't work with theirs. Well, you know what? I mean, that's just part of how this stuff works. Go and make it better instead of bitching that something else is working better on someone else's stuff. So it's retarded. It'd be like a car saying, "Oh man, it's bullshit that you put more horsepower in your engine. What the hell?"
Yeah. It's like when, and notice like when AMD goes, makes it, they're happy. Or let's say they use Tress effects in The Witcher. I guarantee you they would not be bitching about it.
Oh no, NVIDIA would not be bitching.
And when it happened to NVIDIA, you didn't really hear a peep. You probably heard a couple of peep. You might have heard the isolated incident because you can never account for all your employees.
Right.
But as a company wide, you never heard them bitch.
Yeah, you're
about
not hearing the heads of the company
And
speaking publicly.
that's where NVIDIA has a little bit more of my respect than AMD right now. It's like fanning the flames and using elitism and fanboyism as your marketing tool is bullshit and it's wrong.
Right.
And you shouldn't be doing it. And you should be fucking ashamed of doing it that way.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, a game will run on an AMD card just as well as it runs on an NVIDIA card.
Right.
Just because it has like a few extra options or it might be optimized for something and vice versa.
Hmm.
Okay. We're all gamers. We should all be concerned about the experience of the game, how much fun we're having, and all this other shit. If it's on there, it's extra. It's good for you if you're NVIDIA, if you're not. But they are corporations. They are competing with each other. And really, honestly, I don't have a problem with it either way.
Right.
So, and like we saw on Awesome Hardware um, 40% to 26% of people are against GameWorks.
Right.
Why? Because some corporate shill said it is now fanning the flames.
Right.
So I have real major issues with this, and this is just wrong. But anyways, I can go on about this forever. It really does have me heated.
Mhm.
Like, it is majorly unprofessional. It would be like Intel all of a sudden, like say AMD comes out with Zen and it stomps Intel processors, and Intel says, "No fair, you're using more cores."
Mhm.
How's that good? How's that good
Right.
for anybody? Go out there, get off your fucking ass, make it better, make your
Right,
product
exactly.
better. Like, competition's good, but not this kind of competition.
Mhm.
All right. So, anyways, that was about an hour.
Yep,
Actually,
it
a
was.
little bit less. We actually condensed it down, but it'll probably be about an hour by the time we're done. So, we've heard you guys, the shorter format's pretty much what you want, more consistent format. So hopefully as you go and see this later, you'll enjoy it. But we
Hopefully.
do most of the time do this on Sundays at 8 o'clock, I think is what we decided, around
8
about.
o'clock your time, 11 mine.
Yeah. So 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time,
Mhm.
11 Eastern Standard Time. Um, And also, when we get more viewers, we will be actually allowing you guys to come into the Google Hangouts and chat with us. So it'll
Yep.
be like part of the final segment, but we need to get that viewership up. So, guys, if you're watching this later on, tell people about it. Let them know, come actually watch live shows instead of
Mhm.
just me and Joe bitching about it. Maybe we could have somebody that's like really strong on the AMD side come here and try to oppose us. It's
Right.
like,
I mean, I would love to hear other opinions and see, like, maybe there's something I got wrong. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I would love to have the other side of the coin here. Hey, Richard Huddy, you out there, man?
Yeah.
Come on,
Come on, we'll talk.
bring
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, follow me at Cell Processing. Follow Joe at Merchant_Lemon.
Indeed.
And Joe, you want to talk about what you got going?
Yes. Tomorrow, actually, I will be filming. I have a new show. Basically, what it is what I'm calling video game battles. And what we do is we'll have three people arguing points about video games, and I will be the host at least for the first episode. We'll swap it out each episode so I can get into the ring basically for arguing. And we'll just be talking about any points in video games. This is from the video game software and games and whatnot to the hardware and anything that involves video gaming, even its history and whatnot, everything. So it should be fun. We'll have some heated arguments, I'm sure, and we'll figure out who makes better arguments with our guests that are on. So it should be a lot of fun.
It's sort of like a more cordial Jerry Springer.
You can kind of say that. Yes, no chairs. At least you could throw a chair, but you're most likely just going to hurt your own computer.
Well, I mean, we are talking about Dawn, but then Dawn's invisible, so we won't see anything anyways.
Nah, he is very elusive.
Yeah, Skynet.
Mm-hmm. And right now he wants to kill us first. Call him Skynet. He will. He'll get us eventually.
Oh well. So, guys, if you watch this later on, thank you for watching. Tell your friends, retweet, share.
Yes, please.
Subscribe. It's free. At least as long as YouTube keeps on allowing it, it will be free.
Right.
So, I will see you later. I have to go kill Kyle because I think he threatened my life earlier.
Oh, no.
I shot an RPG at him by accident, kind of on purpose. And he didn't like that so much. Yeah, well, I don't know. So, Joe, catch you later.
Later.